Yep, that guy in the green is me, and you're probably wondering, how did this even happen? Well, it all started 1 year ago. Today, my birthday. At this point, I've just achieved 10,000 subscribers, where I thought this was it. This is the highest we're gonna go, and I didn't really know what to expect. I left my main channel and started uploading Dead by Daylight videos, and 1 year later to this day, I'm sitting next to Mathieu Cote and doing an interview with him. So how did this all actually happen? Well, Dead by Daylight announced that they were going to be in Comic-Con, which is in New York, and I live in New York, so I went on, bought some Thursday tickets, and I actually went to Comic-Con. It was my first ever convention, and it was an amazing experience. Upon going to the Dead by Daylight booth, we were treated like royalty. We met the entire staff team, played some games. It was amazing. Met some lovely people as well, and took a bunch of pictures. Patricia, the community manager, who's basically my best friend now, actually gave us some behavior exhibitor passes, meaning we could come for all 4 days, and technically we're now part of behavior. So what you're about to see is the first of 2 interviews. This is just Mathieu Cote and I talking about some stuff. It's something you don't want to miss if you're passionate for Dead by Daylight, if you care for Dead by Daylight. There's some very interesting information in this. I'm gonna go ahead and leave it off. We're gonna talk about the second interview towards the end of the video, but yeah, I digress. Enjoy the interview, everyone, and we'll see you soon. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm the King, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we have something very special. As you can see sitting right next to me is Mathieu Cote, the man, the myth, the legend. How are you, sir?
I'm very happy to be here. It's exciting, second day of New York Comic-Con. It's going to be a good one.
Yes, yes. Before we go ahead, I do need to say thank you to Patricia for making half of this possible as well, allowing us to come in early with some really cool behavior passes, so thank you, Patricia, for that. So, for Dead by Daylight, we've had a lot since the 3rd year. We have Stranger Things coming on, we have the Switch, dedicated servers. I want to talk a little bit about Stranger Things. Obviously, it's right behind us.
Yeah.
How did this all go about? Who was the one that contacted who? How did everything go?
I think it started with us, because it started a while ago. We talked to Netflix and we asked them if they were interested in doing something with us. And they didn't react immediately because they were in the process of creating the department for all the... I don't know what I think they're calling it the entertainment segment, where they do all the video games and the interactions with video games. So we kept talking back and forth until they got the right crew together, and once they had their group, it was almost immediate. Like, everybody agreed the game is a good fit for this. We were super excited. Then obviously there were some legal questions that takes forever to draft the documents. And when that was settled, it became one of the most fun and enthusiastic partnerships that we've ever had.
For sure, definitely. Netflix has their biggest series yet, and putting in what is arguably one of the most iconic killers in this generation is a huge step.
Yeah.
Not only for the average community, but for everyone. So, one thing I do want to talk about, for Nancy and Steve, obviously 2 survivors, which is huge. Were you guys hoping you got voice lines for them, or?
We never asked for that because that's not true, because we did get some lines from Mr. Bruce Campbell.
Yes.
But we tend to not, just because of the way we've set up things so far, and because we don't have actual lines of dialogue. So we keep it to grunts and screams and things like that. And I think that there's also a actors union thing, where if you have just grunts and screams, it's a certain category. It comes into the sound effects,
right?
And if you have any words spoken, it falls into a different category, and it's complicated. So for us, it's usually not something that we want to get, but the likeness, getting their faces, was critical.
Right. And obviously, season 4 of Stranger Things was announced not too long ago, just a couple days ago.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Can we expect some season 4 cosmetics to come on in?
I mean, they've been very open so far for us to add more stuff. I think they thought it was going to be a success. They, like us, didn't know it was going to be this big.
Right.
So I see no reason why we wouldn't continue this.
Yeah, obviously, and Scoops Ahoy was on top of everything, and we've seen so
Yeah.
many cosplayers here as well. So
Yeah,
that's-
and I think it's one of the most cosplayed thing
Oh, yeah.
at the con this year. Like, it's fun because every year there's sort of this one thing that's the big deal that everybody's cosplaying as. I think like 2 years ago we were here for the launch of Leatherface.
right.
And everybody was Rick and Morty. It was Rick and Morty's as far as the eye can see. And then the year before we were announcing Freddy Krueger, and it was the year of the Joker and Harley Quinn.
Right.
So
And now it's the year of you guys, Stranger Things.
I guess so.
Which is very exciting. So we're going to move past a little bit about that. We're going to talk about your next big upcoming event, the Hollow Blight event.
Yes.
So that's really exciting. Last year it was pretty good. It's one of my favorite events of all time. So what can we expect from this event?
Well, I can't go into too many details, but one of the things is that it's also happening at the same time as the archives.
Ooh.
So that's going to be linked in many ways.
Right,
And
that
it's
was
going to be
one of
super
my
interesting
questions.
because the archives is where we will open the door to a lot of backstories on the character, but also a lot more explanations of the universe we've created about the entity and what
Right,
happens.
So a lot of lore stuff. Last time we
Costumes, obviously.
Yes.
You need the Hallowed Blight versions of some characters who didn't get that treatment.
So this is going to be a big link from this event straight into the archives. And speaking
Yeah.
about the archives, how's that going? How's everything planned for
It's so big. Like, it's one of the biggest features that we've worked on in a long, long time. There's a lot of people back at home right now that are putting a lot of effort. They're pouring their heart and soul into it. It's always a matter of we want to release it when it's good and ready, but at the same time, we're sort of never done. You're never done polishing, and there's always going to be a bug left.
Right,
but
right.
we're going to release something that we think is going to be great, and we're going to continue to improve on it. That's the way we've done things on Dead by Daylight. Since the beginning,
Right.
we think it's a fair offering, and we also want to put it in the hands of people because at some point we might think it's the greatest thing ever, but then we put it in the hands of the players and they go, yeah, it's great, but maybe not like this, or
Right,
maybe we
right.
can add this and that, and that's so important for us. I think early on in the project we embraced the fact that it stopped being our game. It became
Yeah.
our game with a capital O. It's the players own a part of this as much as we do.
For sure. I am very excited for Rifts and Archives. Not only are we going to get lore, but it's going to introduce the premium pass. We're going to get some stuff about that as you guys announced in the 3rd year anniversary. So I'm looking forward
Charms.
to that. Yes, charms for the hooks and your survivors, your
Yeah.
killers too. No, survivors.
Yeah, the killers can put them on their hooks, and the
survivors.
survivors can get them on their belts.
Right. So a lot in the way of cosmetics and lore. It's going to be big. I've been
Yeah.
saying that this is going to be one of the big turning points of Dead by Daylight where it's just going to go up.
I
Really
think
well.
so. I
Yeah.
hope so. And one of the things I really like about it is the objectives you get.
Yeah.
So it's a sort of a quest system where you have to achieve different objectives, and it just gives you a bit of a direction, just a
Right.
motivation to play just another game. And this one I'll do as survivor. Or this one I'll play with Jake because I have a thing to get for him.
And that's definitely good for the dedicated players that have been playing for thousands of hours.
Yeah.
Now they have something to work towards.
Well, yeah, and we're making some change. Oh, did we announce? I'm not going to talk about that. I don't think we announced.
All right, so we'll move on from the Hollowed Blight now.
Okay.
Let's talk about a little bit about game balance. I didn't want to
Yeah.
talk too much about it because, how that goes.
But also, we do have one of our designers here. So if you have like specific
Yes.
design questions, we might go and get him.
Yes. So one of the things that we always talk about anytime we do our podcast are generator speed times. We always
Yeah.
talk about this, and the argument goes both ways where, they should just add more time. Some people are saying that's a lazy fix, and then people say we have perks that can counteract
Yeah.
that. Pop Goes the Weasel, Corrupt Intervention, Trilling Tremors. What are your views on the gen time? Is it something you want to look into more? Are you still going to give us perks to stop that?
Like, I'm not the person to answer that
Right.
because I'm not the one who worries about that day in and day out. We have some designers that are literally spending their days doing that. When I play the game, I have frustrations like any player, but I take it as part of the game, and you know, we've added
Sure.
perks and we've made tweaks that change the balance. I think that it's never going to be the perfect balance because this game sort of thrives on frustration.
right.
You're supposed to, because that's what makes it good. That's why you keep playing hours and hours and hours on
Yeah.
end because you've got those real human reactions.
Yeah.
So I think it's always going to be part of
Yeah,
it.
and it's one of the only asymmetrical horror games to do it right, you know? So, I do want to talk about something from your third year stream as well. I think
Yes.
Dave announced this, and this was a little bit of new matchmaking. Is that still something you guys are looking into?
This is an ongoing one, and we keep making changes, and some may seem small, but sometimes these changes change everything. The dedicated servers coming are obviously going to change a big deal, but the idea is it's always the same thing. It's sort of a dimmer that you play with, and it's between you know, how much time are you willing to wait to get the perfect match, or
Right.
how lenient are you willing to be with the differences in geographical location, the ranking system. The big change that we made recently is for the Survive with Friends groups.
Right.
Now it's an average of the level, and we're changing the rules and we're trying things, and I think that this one specifically, people reacted positively to. Like it seems a little more fair, but we'll see. Well, this is gonna be. I think we're never gonna hit upon something and patch and go, "That's it, we're done."
Right,
And
right.
everybody's gonna go, "Yes, you're right. It's always perfect."
Yeah, if
That's
only-
not gonna happen.
Yeah.
And maybe if we get, let's say, like a billion players.
Right.
Maybe if there's that big of a mass of players, we could get perfect matchmaking, but I don't think that's happening.
Right. It brings me to a very good question about that as well, with ranking and how
Yeah.
ranking is going to work. You guys also said you might pursue individual ranks for killers. Is
Yeah.
that something you are looking into still?
Yeah, so right now I know that once we're done with the archives, once it's released and we're simply, you know, updating it and fixing it and improving on it, we're going to be able to look at a different big feature that we're going to improve on, and I think the next one is going to be the ranks and the seasons.
Right.
To make something more significant with it and to really put the effort to make this better. Yeah.
Right. So, will we see, this is something that everybody's want, rank rewards coming in the future?
I think so. Yeah,
okay.
I think so.
So, for Dead by Daylight, as I said, this has been a wild ride so far. You had
crazy.
Ghostface, you had Ash. These are great iconic characters. You have the Demogorgon, Steve and Nancy, dedicated servers, Dead by Daylight Mobile coming out as well. So many
We're
big
busy.
things. You are busy. Now we have the events going on and so much going on. From when you guys started looking back, it must be amazing. Thinking where you guys came from.
It's insane. It's insane. Like I keep saying, we shipped the game 3.5 years ago with about 30 people.
Yeah.
Today there's 150 plus people working on the game. Even the rest of the company has grown and changed because of Dead by Daylight. Changed the way we look at things. It changed the sort of opportunities we're looking at. It's been just amazing for us. There's no way we could have predicted that it was going to be
Yeah,
this
it's
big.
going to be this big.
Literally, we shipped the game and we said, you know, if we break even with this, it's great. We're happy.
Yeah.
We've done what we wanted to do, and then we can move on with other projects. Fortunately, we reacted quickly enough when it picked up. Like literally, the first week was crazy already,
Yeah.
and we decided to just put, you know, all of our efforts and attention on making sure that we did not let go.
Right.
And you've seen it. We have not stopped.
So what happens from here on out? Obviously, you have the rest of the roadmap to come out. Are there any big titles, any big things you want to do? Anything that
There's
you're like,
a
I
lot.
really want to do?
There's many things that we want to do. Obviously, anything that's not announced is very difficult to discuss.
Of course.
But you know, there's things that people keep asking. Any platform that we're not on right now that you'd like to see us on is something that we're looking at. Cross-play, cross-progression, these things are something that we are talking about. And you know, looking at the feasibility of it, it's not simple, and it's always weighing that between, oh, do we do this or do we do the archives, for
Right,
instance, which is
right.
a huge deal. And we keep adding more people to the team, but we don't want to just grow and have 500 people tomorrow, and these people don't necessarily know the game, they don't know the culture, how we work, how we do things. So it's a difficult balancing act. We're not going to change our way of doing things, and we're not going to change our focus. Dead by Daylight is special, it's unique, it's something magical that we created, and we want to keep expanding on it and bringing more of what Dead by Daylight is to people. Yeah, I guess that's it.
Yeah, so
roadmap in year 4, when we do the anniversary, we'll definitely be revealing our plan again. I think it's a great we did that for the first time for the year 3, and it was super fun. And
that was great.
It was a good way. We've always tried to be super transparent with our players, with our community, about what we're doing and what we intend to do. So the roadmap for us was a great moment to just sit down and go, this is what we're going to do next year. You know, stick around, it's going to be fun. Here's what you have to look for, and give us your feedback already on what you think is going to be good, what you think we shouldn't be doing. So we're going to do that again next year.
Right. For the remainder of this year,
yes,
you don't need to elaborate. Are there any major surprises we should look forward to?
Yes.
All right.
We're gonna do another chapter before the year is over.
Yes.
Obviously, that's something that people know. And chapter 14 is I've seen stuff, and I'm very excited. I'll leave it at that.
No new map for that one, so you guys are revisiting.
Really?
I'm pretty sure that's what it said for the roadmap.
Oh, we also said that the roadmap was
the minimum,
what we thought we were gonna do, but that doesn't mean anything. Well, it means a lot, obviously, but
Any input
your
on
certainties are noted.
Any input on what map you guys are looking to rework for the future?
There's a few that we are looking at. The people, I think the Haddonfield is one that we need to look at. Yeah, it might not be the next one, but it's definitely on the list.
So we're gonna wrap things up here.
Okay.
This was amazing. So you had Ghostface, as I said, Ash, the Demogorgon, so much stuff for Dead by Daylight. If you were to put everything away right now, and this was the last chapter, would you be happy with everything thus far?
Absolutely. This is one of the proudest things in my career for sure.
And anything you would like to say to the community?
Thank you. Seriously, stick around. We've got a lot more coming, but thanks.
All right, so that's going to wrap it up for the first part of the interview. If you guys do want to see the second part, it's going to be on a later video. We're going to do some really interesting questionnaires, quick fire, so we're going to put Matthew on the hot seat. Matthew, thank you again for being part of this interview. I really do appreciate it. As always, I'm the king. I tip my crown to you guys, and we'll see you in the fog.
Awesome. I have a last message, though.
Okay.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. I didn't even... No, you knew. Thank you.
I do care.
Thank you so much.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for everything you've been doing.
Thank you for
I
doing
really
this
appreciate
interview.
it.